But let's jump into our first map of this evening. We will at least be guaranteed a second. If we see a third, well, that's up to the teams, as we will have Who Knows who started off the banning, and Wind and Rain will go second. Already Habana banned, and Glaz will join her. Habana, that's, I think, always probably one of my favorite bans, I think, for Bank.
Yeah, banning a hard breacher on Bank is very strong. Obviously, Cade isn't introduced yet in Prem, but having these on, without Cade, sorry, makes it a lot stronger. Banning the Habana, so you can just play with the Thermite and the Maverick, maybe, if you know how to play Maverick properly, and then open the hatches and get a better defense out of it.
I always come back to the trifecta of death, which I refer to as Mira, Echo, Maestro. Typically, we see two of those being banned and one being let free. This time, Maestro has managed to be let in. Sometimes I see Maestro and Echo being banned and Mira being the more dominant one, being actually allowed inside a Bank. Yeah,
well, Mira is not really as strong on Bank compared to Maestro and Echo, because obviously Echo has the invisible drones, Maestro has the indestructibility with the thermal, so it makes it very strong when you're attacking. So if you can get rid of both of them, you can use the smokes, you can use IQ as well. So it eliminates you taking the IQ, and you can just use the a Twitch drone or banning the Habana without a Mira.
Yeah, especially whenever, if you think about the way that Bank is played, very slow. It takes a lot of time to set up. I always have visions of Vitality on Bank.
Yeah, it's a big one.
That's always been one of their ones, and they were the first team to really ban out Echo. I believe that was before Echo even had his 2 drones. They were still banning him out, simply because it uproots the playstyle that teams like to go in with Bank, and that's very slow, methodical. You have a lot of setup. You have to potentially take all 3 fours, because roamers are a massive thing, and you like roaming in this map.
Yeah, it's a great map to roam on. Big map, takes a lot of time to roam, to clear all the roamers out. And as you said, Vitality, a very slow team. They'll execute with 8 seconds left, 5 seconds left. As long as they can get that diffuser down, they're happy. So banning the Echo allows them to put down that diffuser without anyone having to worry about denying it.
Another op I'm quite surprised that we're not seeing Who Knows pick up is a Pulse. Pulse has always been kind of one of my kind of secret favorites for this particular map, simply because that gold vault area is excellent for a Pulse player to sit, because if you didn't know, you can see right into the entirety of that server, which I think is completely just ridiculous in the amount of intel you get.
It's also surprising that they're bringing the Legion instead. It doesn't really help on the basement as much as the Pulse, as you get so much info. As Legion can only really help on the main stairs, or the flanking, on the garage.
There's one way you push Bank, and that's just from server. So it's not as if you can have like 5 different ways coming in, like for a map like Consulate, where you have multiple angles. Yeah, it's a map where Legion does excel as a map like Consulate. It just kind of shows the playstyle of the maps.
Yeah, maybe we're seeing something different. Maybe they'll use a Legion mine on the diffuser. Like, without the IQ, they can't really see it that well, and with all the debris on the floor, it might be harder for them to find out.
So we head in, and this will be the first little bit of work being applied by Wind and Rain. So typically for Bank, you want to try and eliminate the drones, not the drones, the roamers as much as you can with the drone work, which is really crucial and key. That's why we see operators like Jackal being chosen. And still,
the essence.
Yeah, Tyrant will still be running with the Ashe, and that is without the Eggcog as well, so he seemed to have adapted. We'll see if he's adapted. Hasn't got any kills on the board yet. But I'm sure that Tyrant, who is known to be this main fragger for Wind and Rain, who really impressed me during their match against Vexed, I see a lot of potential with him on the Ashe, because it's very deadly whenever you have a great young fragger, just like yourself, really.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to use Ashe ACOG. Like, most people use the Holo anyway, or obviously now they have to. But using it before the ACOG was removed, because you're just an aggressive person with the Ashe. You're getting up close, you're taking the fights because you have, you know, one of the best guns in the game. So there's no reason to not really take the Holo anyway.
Special charge. Stay clear.
So they also have decided to bring the Maverick as well. That's simply because, like you stated, you bring the Maverick since Habana's not there. At least gets you open 1 hatch, and that's pretty much...
2 if you're good.
2 if you're good, but I think sometimes still trying to get the Maverick hole is a little bit difficult. You really do have to go into practice.
Yeah, you really have to take your time.
He does have quite a high skill ceiling.
Yeah, I spent some time out trying to get these hatches open. Spent a good hour in T-Hunt and in custom matches.
So 45 seconds on the clock. This is still plenty of time in terms of how Bank is played. No frags on either side. Wind and Rain are certainly playing it a lot more slower paced. They're trying to make sure everything on their list is checked off before they want to finally go in for the push. They've only got that 1 hatch open, but just a little sliver of that middle corridor hatch. So they haven't done it correctly. but it still means that who knows have to worry about it. There could be someone sitting there, but they don't know that. Blackout will try and establish the plant. He's planting right beside the wall, not in default.
No info on him.
The Nitro Cell misses. No Thumbs doesn't even know. The shotgun's ready. Will he go for the push? SMG11 lands the shots. A 4v5. Ghost as well finds one. It goes into a 3 versus 5. However, Diffuser has been planted, and Vex from above will find one before Prox does get the refrag, and upstairs control has been lost. Thumbs has been down by Harris. Harris trying to find another one. Yes, he will. It goes into a 1 versus 1. Prox versus Harris, and Prox gets it. What a retake coming in from who knows, as Wind and Rain. They had everything checked off except the killing potential.
Yeah, very good retake from Who Knows there, taking up the top floor of multiple people to get the refrags on them especially. Taking the refrags upstairs is very important so you have the hatch control. So if you send 3 people up and there's 2 people, you come out 1 versus 0, compared to how they could have just gone 1 by 1 and died. It's very unfortunate though, because they didn't take the pulse, which could have found them out where the diffuser was, because they used Ash and just found the Valcams themselves to get rid of all the information.
So we head into our next defense, and like we've talked about, Bank is one of the more unique maps along the same lines as Coastline, for example, where every single bomb site is defendable. Yes, you may be thinking, but open area isn't really that good. Yes, it certainly is the weaker of the 4, but if you have a great strategy that you've set up, then it works. I think a great example that I've seen from this season anyway was whenever, sorry, say it Leo, whenever Penta beat Team Secret, they played you guys in Bank, and their open area hold was great. It really shut you guys down pretty quick.
Yeah, they had a great counter to us. We tried to get aggressive, obviously, and died out early.
It was Clash that was really messing you guys up.
Yeah, I believe it was the Clash, actually. It's quite hard to remember because of how many losses we've had, but on the rise up, I guess.
Let's see where the tellers head to. More than likely, we're expecting to see an upstairs hold. They're bringing castle barricades. That kind of tells me anyway that, yes, they're going to try and hold upstairs. They have reinforcements. No Mira, like we know about. Mira certainly would have been a good addition, as he can kind of play the top floor like as if it was a top floor defense in this circumstance.
Yeah, for sure. I'm quite surprised though that Vex is sticking on the Maverick when it's the middle floor bomb site. They could have taken the IQ for the Valkyrie, although they could have droned the cameras out, but it doesn't make sense to me to have the Maverick on this bomb site. It's just so unnecessary to use when you've got the Thermite and you can get people on the windows in CO, or you could, there's so many options that you don't need the Maverick for this bomb site.
So we head in, and once again, Wind and Rain will this time be a little bit more aggressive and more speedy on the attack. They've already took control of the skylight, and they're literally setting this up as if they were attacking a top floor. That Maverick will come into great use, even though you said it wasn't going to work out too good. Well, Vex makes do with the operator, and Castle goes down very early on, and there is still 2 roamers upstairs. Blackout will go for the Thermite. They have no bandit.
No impacts either.
No impacts, no impact trick, no nothing. A C4 does get displaced as well, but it lands onto nobody. In the midst of that, Harris has found Nathan, and Vex has found Ace. This came crashing down for Who Knows, and there's still 2 minutes to go.
Loads of time for Wind and Rain to take this slow, just drone out everything, make sure they're all in the site, or they can just push one guy that's not on the site, like Prox. He's in open area. But no, Harris doesn't know he's in there, and Prox gets a free kill on Harris. Unlucky.
He's a jackal. Shouldn't he be pinging him?
Should be. I mean, looks like he's been in there for a while. He should have drawn that out.
Minute 30 to go. No Thumbs are going to try and play aggressive, and really in this circumstance, he needs to be. There's nothing on the board. Finds it down. I find it. No, doesn't even manage to pick up the kill. I thought that was going to be a down on the Tyrant, but he sends him right back into the grave. And that will be bomb site control done, as Vexed will find the final kill. The Maverick with a free kill, if I'm not mistaken. Great round from Wind and Rain, and Who Knows, maybe getting a little bit carried away.
Yeah, Wind and Rain definitely had the dominance in that round. Like you said, he got a great Maverick play there, which I didn't think he would do. But he killed the castle with my Thermite for the impact trick. So that was very unfortunate from them.
So they're going to go for, yet again, another new bomb site. They will be going for that top floor. I'd imagine they're going to basically hold it the same way they tried to hold that mid floor, where they have the castle barricades, the reinforcements. I'm quite surprised why we're not seeing like a bandit, for example.
Well, they've got the rook and the castle, so they've got 4 impacts to their disposal. They could use 2 for rotates and then 2 for 2 thermite charges. So it's not really that necessary to have that bandit as well as smoke, because it's a big open area that they can't really control as well with smoke. So just having the ACOGs holding the angles or playing from inside of Trump, as I call it. I don't know what everyone else calls it. The front desk. It allows them to just hold back.
It looks like somewhere he'd sit.
Yeah, it's a big. It's got a nice picture of a president as well.
It is an American bank at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Got to represent.
Another question where I'd like to get your opinion on is, Maestro has been let through this matchup, but who knows isn't bringing it. Sometimes I find that weird that whenever there's an operator available, who we know is very strong and dominant, why aren't you bringing him?
Preference, maybe? They've got the Doc and the Rook, so maybe it's just an ACOG preference, but I do think Maestro has such a strong ability compared to just one bulletproof camera from Doc. He could put 1 by lobby, he could put 1 in Skylight, he could deny thermite charge, and he could look in lobby and get the info to see where they're pushing, or maybe just help out with the team.
I can see the reasoning, because you're still having the Doc, who also provides utility with that stim pistol, which is great in this bomb site, because you can get separated quite heavily by the amount of long angles you have. But he also does have a bulletproof camera that he, I believe, is placed all the way down at the end of that elevator corridor.
I believe it's actually in CO by the window.
I'm quite surprised they don't have some cameras on that main corridor, because that's like a massive,
by the window.
high value target for the attackers for the most part. But I see the understanding of the Doc. I think he's also a great operator.
Yeah, I mean, Doc's a comfort pick. You know, everyone picks him. You know, if you're fragging out, go Doc. You get promoted. In my opinion, as Rook has just died, I would still take the Maestro over the Rook, despite having the impacts, because Maestro has a shotgun he could use to make the rotates as well.
And also the thing is that those Maestro cameras are still going to be utilized even if Maestro is dead, because he can still sit on them. So there's still positive and disadvantages. Ghost, aggressive with the Doc, finds Blackout, and it's a 2 versus 4. This has been completely flipped on its head compared to the last one. Tyrant, he will find the castle. A great kill gets him back into the fight. But still, a lot of work to do. They've lost their Thermite, they've lost their Maverick. Their only option is to go up through the spiral stairs or through the main stairs. They have a couple of options. They still have utility. Still 2 smoke canisters that could be used to smoke off that main corridor. And Tyrant, we know he has the fragging potential behind him. He has the R4C, and still some flashes with him.
Yeah, I mean, they've got 3 flashbangs, 2 smokes, as you said. They need to play together in this scenario. As you can see, Tyrant's pushing up alone, and now Harris comes as well. They need to play together. They need to peek together. They need to refrag together. But the defense has played this super well. They know they've got the diffuser. They've got aggressive when they need to be, and they're playing all defensive like they should do now. Just playing the advantage, playing for trades and crossfires is the strongest way to hold the defense right now. But it looks like they're just going to give up the site and just let them have it, because they know the diffuser is outside of Skylight and they can't go through the CEO. They have to come through one corridor, the windows or the door.
Don't know if Harris still has any of his Inox scans still available for himself. Tries to go for it. Stills all three.
And
use your utility, man. Also, that smoke canister and those couple of flashbangs will be opened up. They will smoke that double doorway, allows them to challenge in towards that long desk a lot more safely. However, Doc has played it well, playing right back as far as he can away from all of the action as time is slowly ticking down. We will have to see the kills come out so aggressively. However, the crossfire will come in as Prox finds Harris and Nathan will find Tyrant. A great round from who knows. I've seen a lot of scenarios where that has happened and teams have thrown that round. Well done to Who Knows for recognizing it and being able to seal the round out. That's a hard thing to do.
Yep, they literally gave them nothing. They just let them take the site. They know have the diffuser. They could just play the crossfires and wait. That's all they had to do. They know what they're doing. It's very nice to see that people are playing properly.
For a change.
For a change. Unlike me.
Yes, but you just do monkey stuff in Prem anyway.
Time to time.
You do monkey stuff in Pro League, let's be real here.
No, all calculated.
I've seen that G2 match.
That was calculated.
That was not calculated. That was you running out as a Frost.
I didn't run out.
Yes, you did. You jumped out a window as Frost.
No.
Yes.
As mute.
No, you were a Frost.
I was mute.
No, I will go back and watch the VOD.
Right now.
I'm never wrong.
I played mute and I jumped out of the mudroom window to kill the IQ.
Chat, you know what to do. Back me up or back Leon up. Your choice. It will be
I peeked the window.
One. No, you didn't. You jumped out. I remember seeing
We'll get the VOD up right now.
No, not now, because we can't do that, because we're casting playoffs, Leon. This is why you're here, to cast the
And
see
this is
who.
what we're doing.
To be fair, whoever wins this match plays you at finals.
Yeah,
you should be watching.
bring it on.
This. Bring it on.
Helby's already
That's
analysed.
fighting talk.
Helby's already got it covered.
No, he's not.
He has.
He's more
tan.
focusing on Pro League.
No.
That's true. That's a lost cause at this stage.
Yeah.
Oof.
Feels bad, man.
Does feel bad.
At least someone's in Pro League. Hashtag.
That's gonna be one of these weeks, isn't it?
Sorry. Not sorry.
Let's jump back into the matches. We will take a visit back to downstairs. And how will Wind and Rain adapt from their previous attack? They did have things set up pretty well, but it was just that final execution that we see a lot of teams struggle with. Sure, you can do all the setup. Anybody can hunt a roamer.
Oh, Spawn Peak.
Wow. Real.
Where's that from?
Who knows, they just came out swinging. Like,
Yeah.
they've just been aggressive.
They're doing everything right. They're getting aggressive when they need to, and then they're falling back and playing defensive when they need to. This is how you win against teams like this. You just give people nothing. Picks are important.
Especially at this stage, whenever, like you mentioned, we haven't really seen too much of Who Knows. The only showing that I think is worthy that they can say, yes, we played well, was against M&M.
Yeah.
So there is things that, yes, we've seen from Who Knows. They have certainly, I think, adding Proxen has helped their structure a lot more. But then at the same time, we've seen Wind and Rain go massive. That Vex game really does stand out. Skull and Crossbones, I think he's trying to make. Or a v. Oh, he's making a V for his name. Look, Vex.
Ah, Vex. Yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
it's a triangle. Look.
This is not how you open the hatch. He's wasted way too much utility for this.
Wow. Is he making some art?
You can just go around the outline.
That's
And
really cool. I like that.
I'm going to have to do a tutorial to show him how to do it properly.
Yes, get that tutorial up so everybody knows how you use Maverick on Bank.
Easy. Either way, Prox has gone to the Pulse now, sorry, to give his teammates a bit more information on the site, let them know where they are and how they will be pushing or planting, because having this Pulse is very easy to tell when they're planting, so you can just bait the C4s out and just let them, get the time down and then allow them. Oh, I've ruined it. I messed it all up.
You don't worry about it. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Just like the first half of Pro League.
Like I said again, need some impro demo.
So they have decided to bring the Pulse this time. I absolutely love this pick. Gives you so much intel. You can count how many people are going to be stacked up outside the wall, and you can really just subtract anybody else. You'll know they'll be either watching the hatch or possibly trying to challenge main stairs. They have decided to substitute out that Legion like you talked about. You said it doesn't really give a whole lot. First Toxic Babe will be expended as Spades was looking to cook out of those smoke grenades. Another Toxic Babe. He's used both of the smoke grenades, and here comes the flashes from Time. Will we see a hot drop from him? No Thumbs will find Blackout in the long angle. And there we go. Speeds goes for the plant in more of the... Oh, that's a C4. I was going to say in more of the unusual spot. But yes, Prox on that Pulse will gain so much intel. Vex tries his best, but it's a 1 versus 4. All down to the Ash. The R4C is good, but not that good as no Thumbs. Massive round from the smoke. As Who Knows, they carry on with yet again another round win for themselves, and they are looking to take Bank by storm.
Yeah, very good round from Who Knows again. But it was also a mix of Wind and Rain playing quite bad as well. As you saw, the Jackal was inside server throwing the smoke grenades, which isn't the best spot because you can't get them exactly where you want, compared to having Jackal in the hatch where you can throw them exactly where you want instead and get full coverage, compared to throwing it from site and getting, lucky maybe. But the smoke timings are perfect from the smoke of no Thumbs. They had lots of time left, so they could throw all the canisters and C4s, and they wouldn't be able to get the diffuser down. So really well played from Who Knows, bringing that timer down.
So the way I kind of look at Bank is I think it is much more defender-sided, especially with some of the bans that we're seeing Habana not be there. That downstairs really makes it difficult. Harder. It's like so much more harder. You don't have that same adaptability of just sending your Habana in, open up free hatches. You see if the Thermite then to try and get off maybe both walls if you need to. But limiting yourself to just the Thermite really does hinder that. I think the entire setup, because even though yes you bring a Maverick, I've seen plenty of Mavericks get killed while blowtorching.
Yeah, it happens a lot. People are very complacent when opening the hatches. They don't expect the aggression, but you really do need to be careful when you're doing this, because as soon as that hatch opens, they see you. You can't kill them yet because you've still got your gadget out. If not, you've still got to wait for your gun to come out as well. So it's very unfortunate for people playing Maverick.
So Wind and Rain haven't really changed up anything with their set 5. They've been very dominant in bringing that Maverick Thermite combo, which, yes, we do agree on, since Abana would normally be that fit-in. Ash, just because you want a main entry. Speeds on the Dokkaebi. Haven't really seen that to do much impact, to say the least, which I'm surprised about. Maybe might work against the Vigil, though.
It could work against the Vigil, but again, Jackal could work great against the Vigil as well, right? Because you can see their footprints for a minute and a half before it disappears. So this Vigil could have been running around anyway, and they could have got some free info from that Jackal instead of the Dokkaebi.
Maverick will be used to make a line, just head height, but wow, Prox with that C4. So aggressive on these Nitro Cell operators. That's the same C4 he went for last time. Didn't get a kill from it, but he will be refragged. As Ghost still is just hiding away inside of that Janitors, and the longer he stays alive, the more time he wastes for Wind and Rain. That's the main thing about a roamer. Typically a good roam game is you manage to get just a kill, and you waste a lot of time. That's really what you're looking for. Even if you can run down the clock by 2 minutes 30 and not get a kill, you've done your job. Yeah, definitely. Even if you don't get a kill in that time, you've still done a massive amount of help for your team. But obviously the perfect scenario is you get the kills and you've got wasted a load of time. Sometimes it can get unfortunate and die early, or you can get no time wasted and you get no kills. But okay. Unfortunate, to say the least. No sound on that one, I assume. Hey, they've left that triple wall soft, if I'm not mistaken, in towards that office. Yeah, they have. That's quite surprising because they're literally giving free real estate to Tyrant. He can simply ash it in and just go for it. There's only one person on site who would be completely nullified by having that Ash launcher, as most of the remaining players of Who Knows is trying to go for this aggressive roam game. Ace will try and play aggressive in towards that elevator, and Nathan's still below, as he is in such low HP, but could get stemmed up by the Doc, but they are both separated from each other. Blackout will find the last remaining defender in the bomb site, so that means the Doc has to come back to try and hold it out, and well, that R4C will come in, I'm sure, momentarily to try and do the work. Actually, I think she's trying to hold flank against the Jaegers, though, because he will be the point man for this push. Smoke grenade goes in, but not a good one, as Ace can still see a sliver as the Dokkaebi phone call will come in, and there we go. He sees the outline off the Dokkaebi, and speeds will fall. Blackout, however, has managed to squirm his way in, and will go for the defuse. Tyrant just barely misses the headshot through the smoke. Nathan will begin his rotate up throughout the levels of the bomb, as Ace will just hold on as much as he can. He's already downed onto the Thermite, so it's down to Tyrant inside of a 1 versus 2. Diffuser has been planted. What a punch hole from Nathan. He eliminates Tyrant. Who knows? Even more so of a dominating round. Another retake from them as they lead 4 rounds to 1. Very impressive retake there. Very surprising as well as if they got that. It looked like they had lack of drone information on that last guy as well, as Tyrant was panicking. You could see him flicking one way, flicking another, trying to cover all the angles while he was trying to plant, but it just didn't work out for them in the end. Very unfortunate there. So this will be our final round of this split, should I say, for Who Knows. They will be then offering their attacking services to Bank rather than defending it. I think that's going to be a big ask from Who Knows whenever they do switch on towards that attack, simply because attacking Bank whenever you are already up sometimes does put a lot of pressure, because you know straight away, yes, we have a good lead. You're up 5-1, for example, but attacks are so much more harder, like we've already stated. For you as a player, if you're leading, and then you know you switch to a weaker side, can that sometimes kind of play into the mentality factor?
Personally, we don't do that. We know we can play our best on each side, so we just play. But for a less organized team, like Who Knows, compared to Wind and Rain, they might struggle on the attack because they might not have set strats. We don't even know. They might not even scrim. We're not really sure about that one. Whereas Wind and Rain, they look like a set team. They scrim, and they've got the organization as well, so it helps out. And it really makes it look like it should be going better for them on the attack, but it's not really going that well. But maybe they can bring it back on the defense and show their stronger side, and make sure that they can get the 5 defense wins if they lose this round. Or 6, sorry.
And also just keep in mind, this is only our first map of this evening, and this has been Wind and Rain's pick as well. You have to keep in mind, Wind and Rain, out of the 3 maps they were left with, which was Border, Villa, or Bank, they chose Bank first.
Yep, like I said earlier, it's a niche map. The reason I might have picked that is because they might want to pour off a fast one on Who Knows, because it's a less, it's a very structured map.
Yeah.
And they have to play structured, but it looks like they're just taking it into full control of Wind and Rain here and just tearing them apart.
I still imagine whenever we do see our next map, which will be Border, I think Wind and Rain will have much more of a chance going into that, simply because I think they have more experience playing that. And the last time Who Knows they played on Border, they got 7-1 by M&M. So that's also something you have to keep in account, that they didn't perform as well as what other teams have been doing on Border, even though it has been a very small amount of maps being played on Border anyway.
We do got to remember, M&M, very strong team, very fair team, so obviously they're going to do better than other teams themselves. But Ghost takes the challenge and lose, unfortunately, 2 Speeds outside. He should be able to get that kill, but it looks like Speeds is waiting for him, so unlucky there, Ghost. As I was saying though, M&M, structured team, Fid. Okay. They brought the IQ, but they haven't found these cameras yet.
How do you... Prox has done that every single round. How do you not know at this stage that he wants to C4 Skylight? I'm quite confused by that. And Ace even finds one on the Tyrant. That's your Ash Freiger as he tried to enter in through ATMs as well.
They have an IQ. Where is she? There's 3 cameras. Was there 2 cameras in Skylight I just saw there?
Yeah.
And she's down in open area, not helping up the team. Like, when you're playing IQ, you need to be upstairs, you need to find these cameras first before doing your own thing. Instead of just pushing solo like this. This is really costing them the rounds, and this is why they're getting dominated on this map, really.
Especially whenever they're switching IQ out for another operator like Dokkaebi, like Jackal, who can use that that ability much more instantaneously to find an immediate impact on the board. IQ doesn't really give it much more of an immediate factor. It just gives you some great valuable of the abilities and the great intel that you can also gather from IQ as well. But that was such a quick round, we couldn't even cast it. As Who Knows, with a scoreline that I wasn't expecting, as they go into the halftime switch, 5 rounds to 1. Wow.
Told you.
My oh my.
Don't underestimate Who Knows. Stronger than you think.
Still, there is comeback potential.
Definitely.
As we switch onto the defense for Wind and Rain. And just like we've talked about with some of their attacks, they have great fraggers still. They have good operators at their utility. Tyrant has been promoted to Doc. Vexed has the 416 on the Jaeger. Say that. 6th pick. Is that maybe because... The way I look at it, it's always something that stuck by me, is if you're going to bring IQ, typically there's going to be 2 operators that provide intel. So for example, if Valkyrie and Echo were both being let through, then you'd always pick an IQ.
Definitely.
For this circumstance, only Valkyrie's really there. Then would you go just for the IQ pick?
Maybe they weren't expecting it to get 6th pick to a Val, because obviously people love to play Doc, especially on the top floor.
Especially on Bank.
Yeah, especially on Bank as well. Just in general, on Bank, people love to play Doc. So they might have expected it to be a CO. So like, oh, it's a Doc, we don't really need to worry, it's probably a top floor. But they should have picked 6th pick to an Astral Zafir, in my opinion, though, because they do have a Maestro as well, and with a quote-unquote bulletproof cam, which should have came, but instead it was the 6th pick. But Thatcher's still a good pick as well to get rid of these Ela mines, which could delay time as well on the diffuser and the mute jammers for when they're droning. But it looks like they're going to go for a little bit of a roam here on the 1st floor and the 2nd floor. Or maybe just destroying drones and coming back down to site, maybe it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, they have no Maverick, or not no Maverick, no Habana, as they will have to then bring the Maverick for this particular attack, simply because they have to get those hatches open some way. So they will approach in towards that Skylight. Speeds will be playing aggressive on that server stairs. Does he have the FO12? That's what I'm more curious for. Yes, he does. This is my favorite gun in the game because I love the strategies you can have. I seen this done by Millennium way back, I think, at the Paris Major. I fell in love with that strategy ever since.
Yeah, it's a very strong strat. It's very fun to play as well.
Love it, love it, love it.
I love playing a good semi-auto shotgun every now and then. It's not really loved anymore, you know. The meta from the semi-autos back in Year 1 Season 2 has completely vanished.
Yeah.
So bringing back a shotgun like that is very fun to see.
Valk shotgun, why?
Valk shotgun, Super 90, all of them used to be amazing guns, but now it's just the FO12.
The thing I love about this strategy, yes, you have good kill potential. It wastes a boatload of time, which,
Definitely.
like we've talked about on a map like Bank, especially on a laundry, you need as much time wastage as you can, because once that hits about the 30-second mark, that's where your smoke can really start putting on a shift. But they don't bring a smoke. Here comes the aggressive from the FO12, but the flashbang will be enough, as Ela will fall. Vex, still inside the server, has managed to scurry away from the clutches of the attackers. Minute 15 to go, a 3 versus 4. Well, really a 2.5 versus 4 as Vex on his extremely low HP. No dock on the side. Wonder if Blackout still has his C4. Hopefully he does. They have the Maestro, and I'm sure there is going to be a Maestro cam located inside of A-bomb at least, as Ghost will open up using great utility with that sidearm shotgun. A sidearm that we don't really see too much play, but in this circumstance works a charm.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty unusual to not see a smoke on the basement, seeing how strong smoke is on this bomb site. As you can see right now, they're just going to bait out this one C4 they have, which is gone already. So they've got nothing else to deny it. So they've got people on the hatch, they've got people already covering, and it gives Ghost a free kill onto Blackout, who is the mute, who could have been the smoke. It's the exact same kit, except for you have stronger utility. And Wind and Rain is getting picked apart again.
Harris in a 1 versus 3, as everybody else from his team has fallen around him. What can he do? Not a whole lot, as everybody has left the bomb site. They have multiple angles run from above, and one playing right in the back of server. Harris will try and go for the peek. Sees the drone. Well played. That will be the intel they need. They know he's in the room. But again, that patience, that dictatorship style that they like to play nice and uniformed, they will hold the angles, as who knows, will go to match point as they lead 6 rounds to 1.
Very impressive so far, if I do say so myself.
You can't say so yourself.
But Wind and Rain are. What are they doing?
You should know at this stage that if you're going to go for that FO12 play, it is there, yes, to try and get a couple of kills, but waste time is your primary objective as that roamer in that scenario. Why aren't you then bringing your smoke? That's the whole reason why you should be running out of time.
That's the whole point of the Ela.
It's so your anchors have more time to then use those smoke canisters.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know what they're doing. Like, you could play this Ela a lot better as well. Like, playing the predictable angle close is what everyone's going to peek. You have an ACOG. No one scans while they go around the corner. They quick peek into you. So if you play that off angle with the shotgun as well, you can get aggressive. And if you didn't see that earlier, she had no Ela mines on the stairs. They got EMP'd or they were thrown somewhere else. Which is very unfortunate, because you need them upstairs as well to hold that. So when they peek, they get Ella'd and they can't see you, because it's like a flashbang and a concussion mine in one.
The big thing for me that I'm not seeing from Wind and Rain is that standout player. That player who just is killing and killing and killing, just gunning out every single person he comes up against. We are seeing that from Prox. He has been that standout player. We're always seeing him on the scoreboard. We're not seeing that from Wind and Rain.
No.
Even whenever a team is playing really bad, as long as there's one guy just popping off, they can pull back that win.
Yeah, they could play around him too. Who would be your standout player for Wind and Rain?
I would say Tyrant. Has to be. You know, he's that me and Fragger. He's the guy that can really just pull out 2K from nowhere, which is what you're expecting from your Fraggers.
Yeah.
Coming back to that point about, you know, you need a standout player. If everybody in your team is just not performing, how does that just impact the overall feel of the team? I know that you guys from Team Secret have had issues with that this season. Yeah,
we've had issues with it. So I don't mind talking about it. Mentality-wise, you can get very upset about it. And if, you know, it could be an emotional team, because if no one's doing well, mentally you're going to be drained.
Yeah.
You don't really want to be playing. You want to have a reset. But it's just a matter of keeping your emotions out of the way and just doing what you're here to do. But Prox, their top fragger, has died, so this could be a big impact, as Vexed is 1 HP. Oh no, it's 25 HP, but...
Going down.
Still a kill. Kill's a kill.
Kill's a kill.
Gets you your first blood on. That means it does put Who Knows for the first time in quite the predicament. those walls still not reinforced. It will just be soft, and still Thermite will do the job. Just go for the Thermite charge. Sure, what do you lose from it? I don't think that we're going to see anybody peek around and try and go for a wall-bind kill whenever they know angles are being held. Nathan will be that lone surviving operator in towards that top floor. And again, still careful of any late rotates that we know a map like Bank. It's filled with that. You can simply see, I'm sure Vex at any moment could just sprint upstairs and then try and play aggressive with the hatches that have been opened up for him. There's options here for Wind and Rain if they want to go for it, but at the moment, they know the pressure is on Who Knows. They've lost Prox, their main fragger, who is really stepping up, and especially with his Valkyrie plays, but this time on the sledge, not looking too hot.
Definitely not, but there's no one actually holding the main stairs, which could give them an easy flank right now. As you may know, Vex, the org, or the team Vexed, couldn't really hold main stairs against us, so I don't see why no one's trying it now in the match right here, but no one seems to be doing that. And the plant has gone down from Who Knows. Where's the smoke? He's dead. And the C4s?
Non-existent.
I didn't hear any of it, didn't see any of it. And Nathan gets a 2K from the guys flanking, and that's going to be game over right now. 2v4 situation. They've got hatch control. Everyone's not peeking. They're waiting. They've probably got a drone on this diffuser right now to make sure they can't defuse. And they're just going to waste time right now and just get peeks and just pick them off one by one. And there we go. Match one. Who Knows? 7-1.
Wow. My, oh my. There's no way would this have ever been the expected outcome. I think going into this match, me and you both didn't know really who's going to win because they never faced against each other since we have that group format. This is the first time both these teams are playing, I'm sure, probably ever. And going into it, we're very unsure. We haven't, I think, out of those 3 maps we've seen, we've only seen Who Knows play Border. That's the only map that we've actually seen them play out of this map pool that we are playing tonight.
Yeah.
We've seen no Bank from either team. We've seen no Villa from either. We've seen Villa as well, should I say, from Wind and Rain as well, which will be the decider map if we get to that. But still, Bank was certainly the wild card, and Wind and Rain picking that map and then losing it.
It's going to hurt them.
That's really where you have to think about, okay, where do we bounce back?
Yeah, picking the map. Normally, the map you pick, you tend to lose actually, and then you win the other map. So we don't know. Sorry, Wind and Rain could just pull back, the mental reset, just come back and win the next map, and then obviously win the map after that, which we could see. But at the moment, Who Knows is just looking dominant.
I don't really know what to say. I think Prox has really stepped up. He wants to try and punch his ticket to Manchester. He really wants to try and get back and maybe. Well, first I'll have to get back for you, but maybe then try and go for a Who Knows M&M final if that could be the expected outcome. We don't know, really. It could be
at this
anywhere.
point, who knows?
Who knows, exactly.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's not a team anymore, Leon. You have to start. You have to
In
stop.
my heart.
You have to stop
It's in my
hanging
heart.
on
IDK the win.
to that one trophy win. You have to stop hanging on.
Two.
Oh yeah, well done. You won Prem. Good stuff.
Still a win.
Still a win. But yeah, let's looking at Bank. I thought it was great patience and structure coming in from Who Knows. That, I believe, the second round where they did defend. No, I think it was the third round where they defended at the top floor, where their patience was key. That was a big round that stood out for me.
Definitely on that CEO defense where they're just holding and they're taking the crossfires. They're not getting aggressive when they don't need to, as we could see on the CEO defense. You know, they're just doing everything perfectly. They get aggressive when they need to, they fall back when they need to, and they're just playing like a team, you know?
Yeah.
Compared to Wind and Rain, they're not playing as a team. They're just peaking and dying with Wind and Rain right now.
And there's one thing that works great for Who Knows, and one thing that works really bad against Wind and Rain is the morale, is that snowball factor where we've seen teams just absolutely steamroll. G2, for example, and any time they play a best of 5. Once they take that first map, they will just steamroll over anybody else they can. I think something similar may happen with Who Knows, because they're a new team. They're going to be ready for the fight. They now have the ambition that they can go and win this match. That's terrifying for Wind and Rain, who, like we know, are not the most experienced team in terms of somebody else in, or other teams in level of competition. So for them, they really need to get their heads out of the ground and stand up and really fight for this.
Yeah, maybe it's pressure. maybe they, who knows, no, they've got nothing to lose. If they don't win, they don't make LAN. It's whatever. But Wind and Rain, maybe they're feeling the pressure. They should know that they're the better team.
They're the favourites, yeah.
Yeah, they're the favourites to win this match, but they're not showing that right now. Maybe because of the pressure. Everyone's like, you can do this, good job, you know, you're the favourites.
Yeah.
And it really does get to people.
I don't know what it has been about just this entire, I think since around Season 8, for some reason the scariest teams to play against are the teams which have nothing to lose.
It's because they play like they have nothing to lose as well.
It's
no pressure.
It's really strange. Like, I think a big thing for me to come back to is Trust Gaming versus Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Whenever Trust Gaming beat Team Liquid, no one would ever have given them a hope to beat former Pro League champions, and yet they just played it and they won. It was, you know, I think we've seen a recurring theme from other teams as well throughout this season. It's quite a phenomenon, to say the least.
Yeah, as I always say, if you're going to play like a playstyle in scrims, you should always do it in game. Otherwise, there's no point in practicing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you won't make these risky plays, you won't help your team. You know, you might not make these callouts, and it could be a big impact on the team, your playstyle. You know, you could maybe get a pick from being aggressive, and then you fall back, and you might not do that in a real match because you're scared. And that's what a big factor is in losing these matches, is being scared.